Hi everyone. So I had a whole vlog planned for today. You know, when you're watching this, it's going to be Wednesday. Had a whole video planned for today, but this platform likes to mess with their creators. So I ended up getting a copyright claim, I'm assuming from the music, because I have this app that I go and I edit my videos on. And you know, if I'm doing like I'm walking around the park and things like that, I can go and add music. But since YouTube decided to copyright claim the music for some reason, I decided I'm not doing music on here anymore. You know, I'm not going to put any music at all. I don't care if it says it's copyright free, not doing it. So you won't be seeing me walking around the park like, you know, me, you know, with my feet or the park area. Gonna scrap all that stuff, not gonna do it. So right now I'm at the park, but I'm at the bench, so that's pretty much what you're gonna get for me. So I have not read the Wicked Intentions book. I read about 3 chapters of it and I put it down. That book is definitely darker than people like when they claim that they like that series. That nobody has mentioned to me how dark it is. It's really dark, especially with the first one. The character of Temperance runs this foundling home. It's basically I'd say you know, it's basically an orphanage where these children are abandoned. And so it's like kind of makes me sad because, you know, you just see, you know, even like now that people do not value human life. You know, there's so many people who do not value other humans, you know. Maybe that's why the aliens don't visit us, because we're so savage. So, anyways, we're definitely not in the intelligence of meeting intelligent life out there, because we'd be pretty stupid to believe that we are the only beings in this universe. You know, especially intelligent beings. We are not intelligent for the what's out there in the world. We definitely are not. If we bomb each other and, you know, and just don't, you know, value human life. So anyways, it's a very dark book. I just was not feeling it, like especially like right now. So I decided to put the book down. I didn't DNF it, but I'm just, you know, putting it down. A lot of times when I DNF a book, I'm probably not going to pick it back up. But there's a couple of books like that one right there. I will pick it back up when I'm kind of feeling a little bit better about reading it. And there's another book that I had DNF'd like recently, like maybe like a month ago or so, that I was like, I'll pick it back up eventually. I just was not feeling it at that time. So I ended up putting that one down, and I instead picked up and was reading a Ruby Dixon book. I don't know, for some reason, there can be things in those books that can be triggering for people, like, you know, obviously about, you know, assault and all that stuff. So there can be some things in there, but it doesn't affect me. You know, it doesn't affect me. I don't get like triggers with it. I don't get triggers with it. So for me, those books do not affect me. And plus also, it's kind of like, because it's, you know, they're all taken like out in space, it's like a different thing. I don't know, I can kind of like get out of my head and get into like this, you know, where they're in outer space and all that stuff. So I ended up reading When She's Lonely. I'll put it right here. I thought it was decent. I gave it 4 stars. I did have a few issues with it. The character, what was her name, Ashley? Yeah, Ashley. She frustrated me at the beginning because even though I knew she was, you know, she's hard of hearing, so she's basically like mostly deaf. And she normally wears hearing aids. Well, when she got kidnapped by the aliens, they obviously took her hearing aids and did not give them back to her. So she's mostly, you know, deaf. And in order for her to hear properly, you know, people have to raise their voices, and she does not want to tell the aliens that she is hard of hearing because she doesn't want them looking at her like she's weak. And, you know, I think she's afraid, like, that she'd be shipped off somewhere else, that, you know, she still doesn't trust the guy who runs the planet, you know, who's like the Lord. She doesn't trust him, and thinks that maybe he'll, you know, decide to sell off, you know, the humans to someone else, like if he gets a, you know, if somebody pays him high enough. So she still doesn't trust the person, which is understandable. You were kidnapped and basically sold into slavery, so you can become a little bit, have a little bit of PTSD, fearing that it's going to happen again. So she ends up befriending the guy. I guess you could say that I would classify him as like a deputy. You know, like they are basically him and some of the other men on that planet. They go and they help to protect the women on that planet, to make sure, you know, that they're not being taken advantage of by other, you know, people trying to claim their farm, you know, and all that stuff, their property. So he's been kind of like watching over the different ladies. His name is, I say Kex, but it could be Hex. Maybe the K is silent. I don't know. I'm going to say Kex. So he does not like Ashley when you first like meet them. He does not like her because he has to keep going out there, and she plays like she's dumb, and he's just like, he's like, this girl is so, like, basically kind of like, she's so stupid, you know, like she doesn't listen. I keep, you know, like I have to help her and she keeps like doesn't listen. So he ends up figuring out her secret, that she is hard of hearing. So he ends up befriending her and helping her out, not as like a pity thing, but as, you know, not as like anything for pity, but as, you know, a way of just befriending her. He's attracted to her, you know, so he wants to, you know, make sure that she's not being, you know, like her farm's not going to catch on fire or something, you know. So Ruby Dixon, for this series, I have not seen it with like other series, but this series here, she tends to do like slight little time jumps. And so 2 months goes by, and they, you know, obviously had developed a pretty good friendship, and Ashley has put Kex in the friend zone. I mean, that man is stuck in the friend zone, and he is extremely attracted to her. He wants her to be his mate. And Ashley is a bit, you know, apprehensive because she's afraid that, you know, he won't want her, you know, based on like, you know, her lack of hearing and things like that. So it's definitely one of those friends to lovers. And it's a little more slower paced than some of her other books. Some of them, I would say there are a few that are slower paced. Like there was the one where, I can't remember his name, the one hero where he was on like one of those junker, you know, space areas where it had a whole bunch of junk and stuff like that. That one was definitely a kind of more of a not liking each other to, you know, liking each other a lot. that was a bit of like, you know, they became friends to lovers. But yeah, I did enjoy it, but I will say it's not my favorite of Ruby Dixon's. There are other books that I've liked better, you know, definitely better than that one. And I did not know that Ruby Dixon also is hard of hearing. Oh crap. There's one person that I try to avoid. I see her. So I think I'm gonna stop this video and I'll start it after. Okay, so I am home now. And as I was saying before I got interrupted and had to go, Ruby Dixon had explained in her author's note at the end of the book that she wears hearing aids, that she is hard of hearing. So I appreciate when somebody who has a disability are able to write a heroine with that disability, because they know, you know, they know what it's like to have that, you know, issue. So I'm glad for that. She said that she wrote it because she had read a book where the character had fallen asleep with their hearing aids, and it's like, if you know hearing aids, that's not, you know, that's not gonna happen. So I appreciate if writers, you know, authors, if you're going to write a book with any type of disability representation, know what the F you're talking about. So at least with this one here, I'm not mostly deaf, so I don't wear hearing aids, but I know somebody with a hearing aid, so I can kind of like say, okay, the author, she knew what she was talking about when it came to this story. So, but anyways, I'll move on to the next thing. So right now I am currently reading Wicked Hot Silver Fox. It's Boston's Elite by Tess Summers. Now, I will say this book is, I think it's probably more of a novella length, because I'm getting through it pretty quickly. I mean, I'm on page 38 and I'm at 35% in. So that just tells you right there, this is a novella. So this guy is what they say, a silver fox. So he's, I'm assuming probably late 40s, in his 50s. And he has obviously a certain kink. He likes, you know, more of from what I'm assuming, he's probably more into the like, he likes to be a dominant and he likes to have submissives. So with this one here, he goes and he is, I think his term for his title, I think he's more of like the chief of staff at the hospital. He's like in a high ranking at the hospital. And so he works a lot of hours. He doesn't get like a lot of time to, you know, be with other ladies. And he's a bachelor. He's been a confirmed bachelor for like years. He wasn't interested in settling down and, you know, having a family of his own. So he goes and he meets this one young woman who's, I'm thinking like she's in her 20s. She's young, you know. I'm assuming she's like in her 20s. And so they kind of hook up like really quickly. Like 30 minutes of them knowing each other, they're hooking up in like the closet. They're hooking up in the closet. Now, there might be some people who do not like this type of kink, because it's that kind of like daddy kink where she calls him daddy in the bedroom and he gets turned on by that. Now, on the one hand, I can understand people where they're like, it's delving into like creepy territory. Completely understand that. That's not, I don't normally go to this type of kink, because I will never call a man that. Not in real life. No guy is ever being called daddy by me. Unless it was my own father. So I don't particularly like that kink because it gets into a creepy factor. So I can understand people who don't want to read that type of thing. So I would say, you want to skip this book if you're not into, that. But other than that, I think it's pretty decent. I mean, it's kind of like very, like if you're looking for like, a sexual book, you're going to find it with this here. Like it's short, it's, smutty. So I definitely think that you're going to find that with this. But like I said, I'm only 35% in. I need to finish this off. I'm hoping that I can kind of finish this off. Let me see. Okay, there's an hour and 7 minutes left in this book. So I figured if I can go and crank this out and finish it, that'll be the end of this video, and I'll post this. So, my next vlog will be me talking about another book that just recently came out. I'm not going to explain what it is because I have a tendency of doing this where I'm saying I'm going to start a book and then I get, my mind goes somewhere else and then I don't end up finishing the book. So, yeah. So I'm going to go and finish off this book and then I will end this video with, me talking about the finish. So, yeah, I will get back to you. Okay, so I finished the book. It's definitely a quick read. This is a series where, I think they're all novellas. They might all be novellas. But this is a series where this was book 6 in the series, and it did not feel like I was missing anything, so you definitely could read these as standalones. And I ended up downloading the first book in the series, so I'll check that one out and see. But yeah, I think this is an author I'll go into her, the series and see how I like it. It was pretty good. I mean, we have like daddy kink. There was some anal play in here. Just definitely, it was a quick read. They got to know each other within like a month. It was really quick to where after they went and they had their little thing in like, this closet, he basically was like, hey, I want you to like live at my place for like a month, because he ended up adopting these 2 pair of dogs that she works at this dog shelter, and so he ended up adopting these dogs. And so he told her, you could stay with me for a month so that way we can acclimate the dogs into his home. And so he's like the chief of staff at the hospital, so he obviously makes really good money, so he's a really nice house. So she goes and moves in there, and quickly, they're doing like all kinds of stuff, together. And, he's getting used to the dogs and all that stuff. And she has like 3 little dogs of her own. So there's like 5 dogs there. So they have like a dog walker. He goes and he's like, spoils her basically rotten. And yeah, it's definitely a daddy, like he calls her like, names like, little slut, things like that. So, I mean, if you're into that type of thing, this will definitely whet your appetite, for that. Sometimes I like to read like novellas when I'm in like a book rut where I don't know what to read. Like there's different authors that kind of like will give that excuse me, will give that, help you out. Like Jessica Kane is like one that is an author that you can read like a bunch of her novellas, and that will kind of like help you get out of a little book rut to find something else. I'd say this will be another author to check out. I've never heard of this author before, but I like getting the emails every day from the Free Booksy, where you can go and say like what you're interested in, and it will send you things like either books that are free for that day or like stuff that's on Kindle Unlimited. So I saw that this book was on Kindle Unlimited, and that's why I was like, okay, well, I'll just download it, and then when I feel like reading it, I'll get to it. So so yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed the book. I gave it 4 stars. It's, you know, if you're looking for that type of thing, like I said, Daddy Kink is not really like something that I'm super into, but I am open to reading it. I know there's, like I said, I know there's some people who aren't into that type of thing. It can be kind of like on the creepy side, so you have to kind of like be wary of what you delve into. But I'm more open to reading all kinds of stuff. I really don't have like a lot of like triggers or anything that really upsets me. I will say, like, I'm not into like books where the heroine is like underaged or really young. This one here, she was like in her 20s and he was like in his late 40s. So I feel like, and this is the discussion that some people will like have back and forth with me, is if a woman, if she's 18 and older, that is her business, you know? And then there will be some women who are like, oh, well, she's really young. Well, do you say that when a young man, an 18-year-old man, is getting involved with an older woman? Because, you know, women can have a power, you know, imbalance with a younger man. I mean, it could be where she has all the power and he doesn't have any power. So it definitely goes both ways. So it all depends on how you look at it. For me, I just look at it like, if the person's legal, if the person's maturity level is, you know, like they understand what they're getting into, then it's none of my business if this 18-year-old or 19-year-old is with an older man or an older woman. Not my business, not my relationship. So I kind of stay out of it. I don't really care. So, you know, so you'll have people who will have those discussions. So, but I enjoyed myself for the most part, you know. I will say there were like a couple of scenes I felt like the author watched a porn. I feel like the author watched a porn and she was getting like her inspiration from this porn video, especially like during like their anal play scene. It just felt very like, because for me, I'm not into that. That's just not my thing. In reality, not my thing. My butt is an exit only, not going there. But if other people are really into that type of thing, go for it. Go for it. As long as you're safe, as long as you're not messing up anything internally, okay. But sometimes, you know, that can be played for, you know, like porn, and just really kind of like, it's not reality. I'll just say that it's not reality. But if you want like a quick read that's like smutty, you know, Daddy Kink, you know, this is probably definitely your book. But yeah, that's it for this video. I'm not going to keep going on. But yeah, that's it for this video here. My next vlog will be next week, and it should hopefully be something that I really enjoy, because I've been waiting on this book to come out, and it's a part of a series. I'll just say that. So you'll have to see next week what I read for my vlog. So that's it for this video. Have yourselves a good day. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to each other, and I will see you on the next video. All right. Bye.